Hey folks, Matt here. It's just me by myself. The holidays have been absolutely crazy on the podcasting schedule, but we're working on some others. And this today's topic has come up in conversation by chance 5 or 6 times. And then a couple of days ago on Reddit, somebody mentioned that there was a Midland, Texas version of Monopoly out. And I just wanted to let them know, whoever wrote that game, you're late to the punch. We have Jailhouse Monopoly that was written by inmates in Midland County Jail. Real quick before we get to that, we did the t-shirts finally. The 4 arrows, there's no words or anything on it. This is kind of a historical nod to Telegraph Road, the bulletin board that we had back in the 80s. We stole the design from Mark Knopfler, the t-shirt that he showed up with a few times on the Alchemy tour. There's a podcast episode about the bulletin board that Jim Storms and I ran back in the 80s. And we called it Telegraph Road after the song. And this is in the pre-internet days where if you've seen Halt and Catch Fire and all, or go back and watch our episode, it'll make a little bit more sense. We talked about how this podcast was almost called Telegraph Road, and then we decided that the t-shirts would be really cool to come up with those again. Back in the 80s, a friend of mine's mom made them with all that craft paint that people used to put on t-shirts. You know, it kind of dried hard and they were white. We did the heather green this time just for grins. So I've given them out to people who've been on the podcast. If you want one, give me a shout. They're not for sale. If I've got them on hand, I'll give them to you. Again, this podcast is not about not making money. It's doing quite the opposite. So on to, by the way, I hope everybody had a great Christmas. This should come out January 30th or maybe 31st. We had a great Christmas. We did a Krampus theme. We built a big Krampus. It's actually a costume that's put on a metal frame. I can wear it or put it on the frame. I'll show you a couple of pictures of it. Apparently, it upset someone so much that they called the police on us when we first put it out. And of course, being a retired cop, I knew the old salt in the group, and we had a laugh, and they asked to take a picture with him. So here's the picture of the responding officers with our Krampus. I guess I thought more people knew about Krampus than they did. Krampus is an old Austrian German from that region Christmas legend. He was as real as Santa Claus to them. He is the shadow of St. Nicholas, so he's like the opposite of Santa Claus. Here in the United States, and here's why we did it. Here in the United States, good kids get Christmas presents, bad kids get Christmas presents, maybe not the latest iPad or, whatever, they don't get the particular color car they want, but, shitty people still get stuff. And I think we need Krampus back. You drive from one end of town to the other and see all the idiot drivers on cell phones, and 3 near accidents just on my motorcycle since the holiday season began. I think we need Krampus to come back, because Krampus, not only in that era, according to legend, would bad kids not get toys, they would get a visit from Krampus, who would either whip them with willow branches, willow switches, or if they were bad enough, he would put them in his bag and drag them into the underworld. I think we need a little more Krampus in our lives. No, he is not a satanic, demonic figure. He is as real as Santa Claus as far as pagan Christmas people go. He fits right in there with the tree and the Santa Claus, depending on where you're from. So anyway, we did a Krampus night with friends, everybody that's been on the podcast. We watched the 2015 movie Krampus, which I highly recommend. It'll kind of give you an idea, and it's the more Americanized Krampus. He's a little different from the European one, which is what we modeled ours after. So hope your Christmas was nice and goes into a great new year. So we're going to go on to the topic, which was the Jailhouse Monopoly game. I don't know a whole lot of history on this. It has been prepared and put on a board that's in the really nice training room they have at the sheriff's office, and I taught there a lot in my working days. And as far as I know, I think this popped up 10, 12 years ago. I don't know why they have it, if it was confiscated. It's technically contraband. It could have been linked to a gambling incident, or it could have been just given to an officer by an inmate. I worked in there for 9 years, and we're not supposed to accept gifts, but if somebody comes up and they say, hey boss, thanks for going easy on me. Thanks for being fair, or whatever you did for them. And they give you a necklace or something they made. It's kind of hard to turn it down. You just put it in your pocket and keep your mouth shut and go on. So it could have been a gift. I have no idea. But it's a monument to what people can do with time on their hands, which has always been interesting to me. I enjoyed camping trips or business trips sometimes where I was just stuck in a hotel room and I caught up on my reading or caught up on practicing guitar or whatever I was working on. Enjoyed that time. Something we miss with devices today, because it's so easy to sit and enjoy a device and not, knit or read or whatever you're into. In fact, I have a picture. We talked about it before, and I don't think I showed the picture of a group of engineers, aerospace engineers, stuck on an airplane coming out of White Sands and working on a project, and they had to sit on the plane for many hours. And they made a space shuttle just out of whatever they could find on board, and I'll show that here. So it's paper cups and stuff, and they put it together. Thought it was kind of cool. Working in the jail, I've seen people write books. I've seen board games invented. I've seen art, different kinds of craftsmanship, some good, some bad. I've seen people make paints out of pigments they've scratched off of candy or soaked out of colored paper or whatever it is. I've seen, ladies would make makeup before they go to court out of M&Ms. Of course, some of the guys did too, but that's another topic. Today we were joined by an original phone from the jail that was an intercom from the old jail, the 5th floor jail at the old courthouse, that went to the ground floor. We were allowed to pillage before it was turned down. Also, once the jail was down and it was legal to do so, we were allowed to, some of us were given keys, a lot of the old salts, and fortunately I got one. Thank you, Lieutenant Tim Telk, now Investigator Tim Telk at the DA's office. So I think this was to the control boxes that ran some of the doors on one of the sides. I can't remember. So on to our topic. This was 10, 15 years ago. Like I said, don't know exactly the story to it, but inmates at the Midland County Jail made a local sort of underworld thug life version of Monopoly. And I'm going to show pictures of the board and the parts as I talk. The pictures are not great. I don't remember why this happened. I have better ones somewhere, and I cannot find them. These were off of a, old potato phone or another camera. I don't know the whole story. Apologies for that, but you're going to get the idea, and I'm going to read you the good stuff. So what you have is a collection. We'll start with the properties. Now, these are not only properties, but just places you would visit and spend money. And this is where you have the street names and the railroads and all that. So this one featured a lot of the local crap dive bars in the sketchy side of town. It has car dealerships. It names them Kelly Grimsley, All-American, I think was at the time, Rogers Ford, some of those. So I guess you gotta buy a car. It has court fees, which I thought was kind of fitting. Place called Snow Alley. A lot of the cops will know about that. Sort of self-explanatory. It was interesting. They mentioned by name a few motels. Motel 6, La Quinta, Best Western, and Holiday Inn. Now, yeah, every town has those. But in Midland, there is a kind of a shady spot in town that there's a linked series of these, and I was sat back and recalled I have arrested, as a patrolman or an investigator, someone out of every single one of those motels for one reason or another. It's just sort of a hive. This is kind of cool. They get into this gets a little racist, so I'm going to be careful and not trip off any algorithms. We have we'll call it Inward Town. It ends in an A, so I guess it's a colloquial version, which is adjacent to Wetback City and Crackerville. And they threw a Mary Jane in there. I guess maybe that's the place they can all agree on. Who knows? All the strip clubs, Jaguars, Satins. There's another one there. I forgot what it was. They mention a couple more clubs, and County Line, the adult video store, and also Up Rock Tattoo. Big shout out to Sonny at Up Rock. He's a good dude. It lists visits to OJ, Juarez, and Acuna, and I think one other town. I think these were in place of the railroads. I'm not 100% sure, but it also lists MHMR, local mental health services, and Salvation Army, and the pretrial bonding, and some of the other bondsmen by name, which I thought was really cool. The art, I think, is in the community chest and chance, and I'm going to run down kind of a best of these. You can win a sports bet for $50. You can find loss of dope for $75. That's when the cops pull up and people ditch their dope. You can pick it up and it's $75. You can escape from the police, which I think you get to go back to start. I can't remember. Now it also has get out of jail free cards, go to jail cards, and you also have one for false imprisonment that I guess it just doesn't cost as much. I thought that was kind of cool. You can win a crap game for $25. If you have a family member die, that costs you $40 for whatever reason. You can trade your food stamps for cash. That's worth $25, excuse me. In this game, if you get divorced, it's $100. Yeah, it sounds cheap to me, but hey, it's a game. Crackhead can pay off their debt, and you get $50. This is fantasy. I'm pretty sure crackheads don't pay off very much. You can win a rap battle for $50. You can win an arena fight. I guess it's like a street fight for $70. Or you can win a pit bull fight for $25. You can get pure dope and cut it up and get $250. If you get shot, that only costs $100, which in my experience, most of those guys don't pay their hospital bills anyway. But in this case, you got to pay $100. You can get court-ordered rehab that costs you $50. Car breaks down, it's $100. If you get busted, it says trafficking. It's $150 to pay off the cops. And you get caught stealing, it's $50. Now, some of them I'm going to give a best of, and also they're questionable. You can get caught, politely saying this, enjoying yourself in a bathroom. It doesn't specify public bathroom or what. But if you get caught boxing the clown in the bathroom stall, you get to pay $50. So I guess there's a fine, or who knows. I guess this has happened to somebody. It's one of those things. Having worked sex crimes for a long time, that sounds exactly like something someone would say after exposing themselves to another person is, hey, I was just playing with myself in the bathroom. So maybe that's it. So if you're into that kind of thing, make sure you get a stall that has a good lock on it and lock it. Okay. Best of. I like the meth lab blew up. That cost you $50. Now, I've seen a few meth labs. And here's why I really think this comment is this particular chance or community chest card is interesting. If you use some of the old style cooking methods, you can blow your house up and poof, it's gone. And $50 sounds cheap, but I would say every meth lab I have ever personally seen or been in, you could burn the place down. You might be out $50. So I thought that was pretty fitting. And I'm going to add in, this is the best of all of them, in my opinion, is you can win Pimp of the Year, and that gets you $50. So I'm assuming that means that there is a Pimp of the Year. I'm not sure how to do it. And I don't know why it's only $50. Maybe if you're Pimp of the Year, you just don't need the money, and that just goes into the cost of the plaque. Who knows? But I don't know who made this. I don't know anything else about it other than it did come from Midland County Jail 10, 15 years ago. I thought it was really funny. And next time I'm up there, I'll try to get some better pictures if I can't find them. So I want to give a shout out real quick to a couple of viewers, and they're the kind of people that are why I watch more YouTube than TV. Check out 3-Shot Rocky. 3-Shot Rocky is a moto vlogger. Oh man, there it went. Midwest somewhere, Illinois, Indiana, I can't remember. Cool channel, very good vids, good production, quick and to the point. I've had some conversations with him. He's just an interesting guy, and I love his channel. That's 3-Shot Rocky. Also, Black and Tan, black and then letter N and tan, is a British content guy with a small channel, and he runs a couple of hunting dogs in England, and it's just a joy to watch. That's why I go on it. You can get on YouTube and watch some idiot in West Texas make a crappy podcast, or you can go watch a guy in England hunt rabbits with his dogs. It's pretty cool. That's all I got, folks. Have a very happy, very safe New Year. We got some more episodes coming up. When I get time to record them, we've got some artists and photography stuff coming up. So with that, cheers. Enjoy yourself. Happy New Year. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Bye.